Hey guys, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another Sketch Sunday video. So this week's sketch comes to us from MFT and here is what it looks like. It's my terrible drawing of it. If you want to go over, and with some measurements on there, if you want to go over and see what the actual sketch looks like, head over to MFT's blog. They have inspiration over there, a bunch of other cards, and they also have a color challenge if you want to participate in that as well. So I wanted to show you guys the card that I made real quick before we get into this week's card. This was inspired by that sketch, and I used some Kindred Stamps products. I used a Bit Spotted stamp set and Spotted Stencil. So this is the Spotted Stencil from Kindred Stamps, and I used the Black Soot Distress ink or oxide. I think it might have been the ink, and inked up the background for this in that stencil. And then I used my brother's Scan and Cut to cut out the dogs in that. And how good did that do? I think it did amazing for the for how tiny the cuts are and how intricate. It did an amazing job. So I will do another review on the Brother Scan and Cut because I've had it for a little while. I'll do a review on that soon. I'm really loving it though. So spoiler alert. Okay, so let's get started on to this week's this week's card. So I used a couple of stamp sets from Hero Arts. I used the Hero Arts monthly kit that I got the other day, as well as the Stamp and Cut, which is called Stick Together Stamp and Cut, that I got as an add-on. So this also comes with some dies. So I'm going to show you how I was able to stamp those images out. I colored them in with Copic markers, so we'll go over the Copic markers when we get to that part. But I first want to start off with the background. Now I did the background a little bit earlier just to see what it would look like with some Distress Oxide and using some water. Did not really care for it as much, so I think what I'm going to do for this one is go a little bit lighter handed, and you can kind of see here I didn't clean off my stencil, so at least I can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but where I put the color down last time, and I think that I'm just going to go a little bit lighter. Now I'm using the two different kinds of brushes. They're relatively the same size, just to show you guys that it doesn't really matter because these brushes are fantastic. These are not the life-changing brushes. This one was the Duramy, and then this one is the Yosing. It doesn't have anything on there, but I do the way these feel in your hand. These are a little bit heavier and feel a little bit sturdier. However, these work just fine. These are about $15 for 10, and these were about, I think I get 8 of them, and these might have been 15. I don't remember, but I do have a video on that if you want to look at it. So because the Distress Oxides, at least mine, are a little bit juicier, I am going to go in with a much lighter hand than I did last time. And I'm going to kind of just put a little bit of color down. Not too much. And I think this might still have some of the blue and pink mixed together. So this might be coming out a little bit purplish, but that's okay. I don't mind. So I'm going to go much lighter hand than I did last time. And I think last time I just did 3 little areas, and it's picking up some of the blue from here, so that's why you're getting some purple, because I did not wash it off. So that's where that's coming from, but that's all right because we wanted some purple anyway. So I'm going to do much lighter. I pressed heavy last time, and I think that created a little bit too much of the too much harsh color. I wanted it to be a little bit softer than the colors that I had. I'm again pressing with a very light hand, which is definitely hard for me because I'm one of those ones that's like, put all the color down right away, which I just did right there, but it's okay. Kind of just blend it out. Uh-oh, moved a little bit. I really need to get that tacky glue that everyone seems to be getting for their stencils, because my stencils, no matter what I do, I always feel like my stencils kind of come up. So we're going to put a little bit of purplish here, and then I'm also going to try to do a little bit of pink. And it's okay if it's not really reading pink, it's reading a little bit more purplish. I'm not too upset about that. You can always go back with a little bit of a heavier hand and put some pink in there. But let's see how this stencil came out. I think I need a little bit more blue throughout here to give it kind of a purple vibe. Oh, that's so cool. And the background looks amazing. You can see kind of up here where I went a little bit heavier handed, but I'm loving this. I love this kind of like psychedelic background. So now I can put this off to the side. This won't ruin anything, so it won't stain with the Distress Oxide, so I can wash it off later and it'll come out perfectly. Same with the brushes. They wipe very clean very, very easily. I was kind of nervous about that because that was the one thing that I didn't want to have one brush for each color. I wanted to be able to use whatever size I needed, and I thought that I was going to need to get a bunch more brushes, but they clean so easily. So all I do to clean the brushes, I'll just show you real quick. I have a spray bottle of water over here, and I don't want to get it on anything else. This is a Norwex cloth, and I just rub the brush over top of it, and look, it stains a little bit. I mean, there is a little bit of color in there. Let's show you this one. This one's pretty blue, but you'll be amazed. Now, I don't know if it's the Norwex cloth or if this just works. It's a microfiber cloth. I don't know if all microfiber cloths. Look at that. And then you won't have any color transfer. So very, very easy to clean. I highly recommend these brushes. And like I said, these are not the life-changing, super expensive brushes. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to cut this background down. So it is 4 by 5 1/4. So we want to cut it down at 2 inches because we want to cut it right in half. So I'm going to cut it down this way, 2 inches, and then this one is going to get cut in my sketch. It gets cut at 3, and then that'll leave 2 1/4. So I'm going to do 3 inches this way. Did I do? I can't really tell. I don't think it really matters which end is this. So I'm going to try to keep the pieces together so that they will match back up. Make sure that it's not like this. Okay, and then this one is 1 1/2 from either side. One and a half. Okay. It's this middle piece. Okay, so that'll match up nicely when we go to put that together. I'm going to put that on the side. That was my Fiskars cutting. Not cutting mat. Oh my goodness. Fiskars paper trimmer. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. All right, now we want to work on the background. So I'm taking my Martha Stewart scoreboard, and we are going to score at 5 1/2 because it's 11 inches. And fold it, and then use my bone folder to crease it. I'm going to show you the 4 images that I picked. Normally things look best in odd numbers, so since I have a sentiment, which I'll show you in a second, then I did 4 images. So these 3 right here are from the Stamp and Cut, and then this other one is from the kit that I had. This sentiment came from the Stamp and Cut as well. It says, "I'm stuck on you," and they had a little banner piece. So all I'm going to do, I'll show you guys if you don't know how to do this already. It's very, very simple to make a banner cut. So I could use my trimmer on the back, but I think that we're just going to cut it here. You cut down the middle, find the center point, and just cut down for as long as you want the banner to be. And then you cut from corner to that slice there. Take that piece out, and then you do the same thing from the other side, and you'll have a fishtail banner. There you go. There's your fishtail banner. Very easy way to do it if you don't have a die that does that for you, or if you just don't feel like taking your die cutting machines out, whether the electronic ones or one of the hand crank ones, just to make it life easier on yourself. So now all I'm going to do is kind of line the pieces up on here, how I want them to go. Now if you have these little paper pieces here, like my trimmer didn't, I I don't know if the blade needs to be changed or what the deal is, but it's because sometimes this happens. All I do is I take my scissors and I just go along the edge and trim off those little excess pieces. Only takes a couple seconds, but it makes it look, oops, accidentally shredded that one. But it makes it look so much nicer when you have those pieces off of there. And it might have just been the paper that I was using, because it doesn't do this on all of my papers, just some of them. So I don't know if I'm cutting against the grain or what I'm doing, but some of them. So just clean this up real quickly and then get to attaching them. Oops. So just laying them out how I want them to go. And this one goes down here. This piece here. Just cut these off. And I colored, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you, I colored those images with some Copic markers, and I used B00, which is, let me see, this is Frost Blue, and then I used B02, Robin's Egg Blue. I also used R32, which is Peach. I used V17, which is Amethyst, and I used C1, which is Cool Gray. So now I'm just gonna lay these pieces out, trying to make them evenly spaced between them. I'm gonna use my ATG gun, which is probably the quickest way to put these on here. I do have a glue pen around here somewhere, but it felt like it was running out of glue the other night. I feel like I go through those glue pens so fast. So this is the ATG that is acid-free, which I have not refilled the one that's not, which is the one that I would normally use for cards, because these refills are more expensive, but I do have a lot of these ones. I'm just gonna try to line the pieces up as evenly as possible. Now you don't have to put a space between this. You don't have to cut your background up. You can actually kind of put them like, let's see, this is the right way. Had it upside down. You can actually, you can even just put strips of paper in between here if you wanted to do that, like strips of black paper in between there. I think that would look really cool as a divider if you don't want to cut your background up like this. Or you can kind of just put pieces together and make them fit and fill up the whole space. You don't have to leave these gaps here. I was trying to figure out the best ways. So I wanted to do washi tape and a washi tape here, this one here, and then I wanted to do, I want to cut this end off because I don't need all of this. So we can go across like this. So this is how the card is going to look. Now you can lay this flat, you can pop some of these up. I messed up the sentiments on the back. So that's why that's there. So you can just wanted to do this in the middle of this piece here. Let's see if I can find the glue stick so I don't, yeah, here's the glue stick. So I don't have to use ATG on the back of everything. This should stick. Oh, I also used a little bit of Warm Gray 3, I think, WG3, in this bottom for the roll. You can see the roll and the cardboard that the washi tape is on in the bottom one, the pink striped one, but you can't see it in this one, in the purple one. So there we go. So pink, purple, and blue. Here is the card here. I could do a sentiment on the inside, but I just wanted to show you guys real quickly how using a background, how you can do something a little bit different using background stencil to create a unique background to match up with a sketch. So that's it. That's all the products that I used. If you guys, I also used Hero Arts. Oh, let me show you guys before I end this. I actually took all of the die cuts and cut them out of the cardstock here. And then what I did was I laid them down, and then I put the cutout pieces back into, actually I put the stamps on here in the cutout spaces. And then I held this into place, and then I popped the cutouts right back into place, and then I stamped them, and they stamped out virtually perfectly. So that's a great way that if you're trying to do, if you have solid dies, these ones are open dies, but some of the older dies, before people in the industry started realizing it, these would be 100% solid. So you couldn't see behind them to cut these out. So this is a great way to cut those kind of dies out, or even to line these up perfectly, because sometimes these will move in your die cutting machines, and sometimes it's just easier to cut and then die. So if you're interested in doing that, this is a great way to do it. And then hold your paper down, and then it's really easy to get a great stamped image, and then you can do it more than once if you need to. You can even kind of put some temporary tape on the back of the cutout pieces so that they won't come up with the stamps when you open the door. So that's just another little tip for you. Thank you guys so much for coming with me on this Sketch Sunday. I will be back soon with some more projects. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below or message me. And I will see you guys again real soon in another video. Bye!